Motion controls play a big part in fostering a sense of presence. Being able to wave your hands in front of your face goes a long way to making you feel like your whole body inhabits the virtual space, as opposed to just being a disembodied set of eyes. The Razer Hydra is currently the most supported motion controller for the Rift, and it has already proven pretty decent at letting you swing swords and fire guns. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. A key test of input solutions is how they handle finesse movements. The Leap Motion is just the first in what looks like a wave of solutions capable of tracking individual fingers on your hand. Whether due to a lack of developers or just issues with the hardware, there simply haven't been that many DK2 demos by which to compare the two tracking methods until recently. It may not be an exact like-for-like, but two DK2 demos, Skydesk for the Razer Hydra and Robot Chess for the Leap Motion, both experiment with precision use of hands to interact with virtual objects with as little abstraction as possible. Of course, this comparison should not be considered the final word on either piece of hardware, especially as future iterations and competitors both seem to be just around the corner. However, it remains an interesting comparison because finger-based tracking could be considered an entirely alternate evolutionary branch to gamepad-based solutions. Alternate Alex's Skydesk demo for the Razer Hydra is a mini sandbox. You are seated at a desk and are able to use your bulbous hands to manipulate a variety of objects. A control panel allows you to spawn things like blocks, toy cars, spaceships and guns, which you can pick up with the press of a button and rotate with your wrist to inspect. The precision you get from the Hydra does allow you to do things like stack blocks, for example, by pressing a button to drop the object. Combined with positional tracking allowing you to lean around your creation, you can begin to develop great ambitions for your construction, until it collapses under the force of Skydesk's primitive physics. Of course, firing off the various guns is also a fun diversion, but without any hostile targets, it soon becomes a hollow exercise. Also at your desk is a little remote-controlled model Cobra Mark III spaceship that you can fly by grabbing the two control sticks. There's a view screen that you can position anywhere in the workspace that allows you to see your ship from where you're seated. This feature probably provides the greatest sense of fun in the demo. It is also ultimately a great example of the advantage of any gamepad-based tracking system. Analog sticks are still useful ways to interact with objects and interfaces in virtual environments. Even putting aside the problem of locomotion, it's hard to imagine a finger tracking solution capable of the reliable fine input that you can get from an analog stick. Nathan Beattie's Robot Chess is very much as advertised. You play chess against a robotic opponent who reaches down and moves the pieces in front of you with its hands, just as you do using a Leap Motion controller. With either right or left hand you can pick up a piece by pinching your thumb and index finger over it, and then release to drop it over the destination square. This pinch action provides enough resistance to make the motion feel reasonably natural, and I also expect it is more reliable than clutching thin air where the virtual piece should be. The trouble is that this is still just not reliable enough to be tolerable in a game like chess. It's too easy to drop a piece in the wrong place. If you're lucky, this will trigger a horrible invalid move sound and move the piece back to its original square. If you're unlucky, it will land in a valid square, potentially costing you the game. I can't help but think that this is not a software problem, but with the Leap Motion controls as spotty as they are, it's pretty unforgivable that Robot Chess doesn't let you take back moves. Accidentally dropping your queen into danger is frustrating enough to make you want to knock the board over, which, to add insult to injury, the game doesn't actually let you do. Although of course if you could knock the pieces over, it would be an absolute nightmare. There are a few other bugs, like allowing you to move into check, or sometimes simply refusing to let you move a piece to a valid square. but these issues are completely eclipsed by the fundamental input problems. The fact that you can't reliably grip pieces means you can't even begin to do things like take the time to inspect them and to appreciate the virtual physicality of the objects, and this acts as a big blow to feeling any sense of presence. You're always battling with the input. Perhaps this could be fixed with a more abstract metaphor for gripping something, but that sort of defeats the purpose of a natural interface to the point where you might as well use a controller-based solution. I've spent some time with the Razer Hydra now, and while it certainly does have its share of drawbacks, like its cables and issues with drift, it also has the benefits of buttons and sticks. Whilst this does create a layer of abstraction that could be considered a barrier to total presence, it doesn't completely shatter a sense of presence in the same way that tracking errors do. While I'm glad that I tried it, I'm unlikely to pick up robot chess again. It's a great demonstration of the challenges of performing even simple tasks with the Leap. It should be noted that neither the Leap Motion nor the Razer Hydra were originally made for the Rift, but both do seem to be progenitors of different species of VR motion tracking. The technology seems to be developing fast, but at this early stage, gamepad-based motion tracking does seem to be the more reliable method of determining the player's intent to grip or release an object, and it also has the benefits of some haptic feedback and analog sticks where needed. Perhaps in the long run, the optimal solution will be some sort of hybrid of the two. Please do let us know if there are any Razer Hydra or Leap Motion demos you'd like us to try, and don't forget to subscribe.